Chapter 31 of Tanya in our annual cycle of study. And the Alter Rebbe addresses this, what he spoke about in the last few chapters, that when a person feels insensitive to spirituality and to godliness and they can't in their heart feel anything towards these things, then you have to break the klippa. You have to crush the klippa. And the ways the Alter Rebbe said to do it could be very depressing. And the Alter Rebbe is addressing here, why aren't we worried that you'll get depressed from making yourself feel low and making yourself feel lower than others? Because Kedusha, holiness, is about joy. Klippa is connected to depression. So the Alter Rebbe says that sometimes if you're depressed for spiritual reasons, then it's not that bad, because although it's from Klippa, it's from the good side of Klippa. And actually it's important at times to feel depressed from spiritual matters. Why? Because just like in a forest, the only way you can cut a tree is with a piece of a tree, a piece of wood. So too sometimes the only way to break the Klippa is to use the Klippa itself to break it. And that's why it says that in every sadness there is profit, because through addressing the negativity of the klippa and feeling depressed, you're able to come to a profit afterwards. You're able to come and to a higher level afterwards. But the truth is, this is not really depression, because here we're talking about bitterness and remorse, which depression makes you feel heavy. Depression, it loses any vitality. But remorse and bitterness is full of vitality. It actually moves you. It wants you to make you change. And this comes from, in its source, from strength, from gevura. Unlike chesed, kindness, which brings happiness, gevura brings bitterness and remorse. But it's something that activates you, that motivates you, that makes you change. And at times, actually, it's even more. That the only way to sweeten judgment and bitterness from above is through bitterness, is through gvura itself. So therefore, there are times when it's important to reflect and to be bitter over your situation. When are these times? It's not something we search out for. But most of us at times feel depressed for mundane things. That's the moment we should grab it and say, turn it around and say, let's now use it to feel remorseful and bitter over our spiritual situations. And then use it in the right way. And at that point, the profit is that there's tremendous joy that the Yetzer Tov, that the good inclination, the godly soul, extricates itself from the clutches of the worldly soul. So really, the godly soul is in exile under the worldly soul in this world. And we have to put in the effort to extricate it. And that comes through strength, through bitterness, that we pull ourselves away, which comes through prayer or teshuvah and ma'asim tovim, repentance and good deeds, which these cause us to push ourselves away. And the reason he puts teshuvah and good deeds together, because good deeds, that brings you to return yourself closer to God. And that brings you the greatest joy, like someone who came out of prison, like a prince who just came out of prison back to the palace. Is the greatest joy. Now, even though you still have a Yetzer Hara, you still have an inclination, you still have a negative part within yourself, but at the end of the day, you didn't put this negative part within yourself. God put it within you. And as long as you extricate your godly soul, that it feels free and it can do its thing, this is like what happened in Egypt. It says that the people ran away from Egypt. Now, why did they have to run away? Pharaoh was going to chase them away anyways. But they were running away because inside of them there was still the negativity of all the Egyptian culture and things that they adopted. So running away was they were extricating their goodness away from the evil that shouldn't hold a clutch over them. Away from the negativity shouldn't hold a clutch in them. And really, this is what we do all the time, is we are having our own personal leaving out of Egypt, trying to take our godly soul out of the clutches of our worldly soul, to be out of prison of our worldly soul, because we recognize that God made us this way and gave us this worldly soul because and God sort of descended in such a manner so we can create an aliyah, we can ascend in a great way and pull ourselves out. And this gives us the greatest joy that can happen. So in this type of situation, the sadness, the bitterness, the remorse ultimately leads to a positive thing. So it's not something we look forward to getting involved and spending the time to do it, but we have to grab opportunities, especially when anyways we're sad or feeling depressed, to be able to do it in the right and positive way. This concludes chapter 31. To see the rest of our classes on Tanya, go to the Chabad YouTube channel.